welcome to Deconstructed with the Maven. And I am so excited that today we have Chameleon here with us. Yay! Now, for those of you who don't know, and maybe you don't recognize her face, because she is a radio star. Yes, indeed. Yes, she is the host of The Breakfast Club on Radio 1FM 103.7.
Yep.
Yeah, and you do lots of music and fun things on your breakfast show, right?
Yeah, a lot of fun things.
Yeah, excellent. Now, a little secret. I trained Chameleon back when I used to do The Breakfast Club, but I've since moved on. And so Chameleon has taken it over and doing an awesome job all by herself. Yeah, so I've invited her today so we can kind of revisit that fun that we used to have and share that fun with you as we go through the show.
Yep.
Okay.
It was really fun.
Yeah, the show, when we did it on radio.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fun. I still run into people. This week I ran into two different people that in conversation I happened to mention that I was Lady Miriam because that was my persona on the air, and they're like, "Oh, you're Lady Miriam?" You know, and two people, and both like high management of places.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, so now watch my video show, right? I mean, if you like Lady Miriam, you're going to love the Maven. So let's get started. We're going to kick it off with weather.
Yeah.
This weekend for Phnom Penh in Cambodia, the weather is...
The weather in Phnom Penh right now?
In this weekend?
Oh, it's going to rain.
It's going to rain.
I was...
We're getting into it. All right. But now she's okay. She's tuned in to the Maven and Deconstructed. All right. So this week, what's going to be this week?
This week?
For the weather?
Oh, for the weather, it is...
more rain.
Yeah, it's more rain. It's a lot of rain. I was thinking that it's already, rain, a lot of raining.
Rain.
So
All right.
don't forget your raincoat and your umbrella, just in case.
Absolutely.
Protecting is better.
So now we'll look at just a couple of wacky holidays coming up this week in case you want to celebrate them in the rain. On Sunday the 8th is World Octopus Day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. How cool
I love
is that?
octopus when they are small, but when they are big, that it's just a nightmare.
Yeah. You ever eat like, I think it's China that has this trend of eating the live octopus?
Yeah, I think also Korea and Japan too.
Korea and Japan too?
Yeah, but...
You ever eat that?
No.
Would you ever eat that?
Never,
Yeah.
ever. No.
But something I would eat is also on Sunday the 8th, and that's pierogi day.
What is it?
So there's a picture of a pierogi. So it's kind of like a pot sticker,
Yeah.
you know, and delicious.
That look...
Kind of like samosas too, in a way, but only I think they're boiled instead of fried. I mean, I think you boil them and then you saute them. At least that's the way that picture looks.
Yep, that look delicious.
Yeah. So Monday the 9th, we should really mention this one. It's Fire Prevention Day. And fires are like a bad thing when they happen in Cambodia.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they don't happen like as often as they could with all the wiring that people have and stuff. You know, everyone just splices into wires and the electricity. It's like a really dangerous situation. Plus a lot of open fire cooking.
Yeah.
And that causes a lot of fire. So it's Fire Prevention Day. And you know, I think you can buy smoke detectors here in Cambodia now.
I think so, but people just...
They don't think about it.
They don't think
so that's
about
why it's Fire Prevention Day on Monday. So why don't you go check out how much it is? Maybe it's $5 or $10 for a smoke detector, and get one because it could save your life.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, you want to say that one? Also on Monday is Beer and Pizza Day.
No, I can't drink beer, but pizza.
Yeah.
Can turn
What's
it
your
off.
favorite toppings on pizza?
Pepperoni?
Me too! Pepperoni. I also like pepperoni with onion and bell pepper. Yeah. Do you like anything with your pepperoni or just pepperoni?
Just pepperoni.
Yeah. That's okay. That's good too. Pepperoni is like the best. Oh my gosh, it's also Columbus Day. So that makes so much sense because I saw in the news, one of the headlines, I didn't write it down, was that in New York City, they've got a very famous statue of Columbus. And they're setting up guards so that nobody tries to pull it down.
Oh.
Because in America, there's a lot of people taking down statues that they don't like. Generally, it has to do with the South and racism.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, but they're concerned about Christopher Columbus. A lot of people some people recognize it as like discovering America, and other people say that they didn't. I mean, like he
didn't discover it because it's there the whole time.
Yeah, but that he also brought like colonization and hurt the indigenous people, natives. Yeah,
there you go.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to actually move on to news headlines because it's time to do that. All right, in Catalonia, which we're going to talk a little bit more about in a minute, but the Spanish king has just apologized for the trouble that they've been having as far as the police cracking down on protesters.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're protesting because they had a referendum, which is a vote that not for, when it's a referendum, it's not a vote for a person like elections, it's for a policy. So instead of just like the National Assembly or the Senate voting for a policy, the people are actually voting to say this is what we want, right? And then action can be taken or not taken based on what the people want. That's called a referendum, and they had one on October 1st. But we'll kind of get into that story for our deconstruction. Yeah. So I just wanted to mention in the headlines that the Spanish king has apologized for the crackdowns that's been happening. All right. In the Swiss Alps, you had a 2-year-old girl fell into a crevice, which is like, so if you've got a rock, or Alps are mountains, and so there was like this this crack, and a 2-year-old girl fell down the crack. Every parent's nightmare, right? And so 100 rescue workers spent 12 hours to get her out, but they successfully rescued her. So that's a good news story. We're happy to report about that. Hurricanes, we've got Hurricane Maria went through Puerto Rico, completely devastated it. Now they're trying to like recover from that. And then also there's a new one. It's not a hurricane yet, it's a tropical storm. Nate, right. And it's gone through the Gulf of Mexico. It's really done some devastation in like Nicaragua and Central America. And now it's heading north up to the Gulf states of the U.S. So they've already evacuated, they're starting to evacuate New Orleans. And like there's a lot of oil platforms in the Gulf. And they're evacuating people off, workers off of that.
It's just keep adding up.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, what is it with this? I mean, I wonder, we should look up and see, like the hurricanes get named alphabetically. Like what is the most, the highest letter that they've gotten to? Actually, they get a name when they're a tropical storm. And then sometimes they become a hurricane, sometimes they don't. Okay. But it's been a crazy hurricane season. Sudan. Okay, so the U.S. has lifted sanctions on Sudan. And apparently this has something to do with a deal about North Korea.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, what's going on in Sudan? Something to watch about. And then in Egypt, they've been having an anti-gay crackdown. There's a media blockout right now. So it's happening now. And so we don't know exactly the numbers of people and what's happening. So that's another thing to watch. Yeah. Niger. So like a lot of times, a lot of the world news is like U.S. related. I try to stay away from that only, but this kind of caught my attention that U.S. soldiers that were missing were found, that had been kidnapped or something. I don't know. There's some kind of action going on in Niger, in Africa. It's like, what's going on in Niger? I don't even know. So I might have to like look in to see like why is there even anything going on in Niger? That's weird.
Yeah, it's not as focused as the country that has power.
Exactly. That's true. If the country has power or resources, then the bigger powers want to be involved, for sure. In Rohingya, we update on that. This week there's been a lot of international pressure about the situation in the Rakhine state in Myanmar. So we'll have to see if it makes any difference. Libya also has been having a lot of clashes, as well as Syria has been making gains against ISIS. So there's a lot of geopolitical things happening. Even some more. I've got the Saudi king visited Russia. and possibly they're talking about an oil deal.
Yeah.
If they're talking about making an oil deal without the using the U.S. dollar, the petrodollar, that could be huge global. It could have a huge global impact. So that's something to be watching, as well as Turkey and Venezuela meeting in Turkey about oil deals and things.
Yeah.
So the whole global system could be on the verge of being upset. It's almost time for our coffee break. Just a couple more things. New Zealand had some elections where the National Party won with 44.4%. Now, what do you think would happen if you won with 44.4% in China? Would that be like a good thing or a bad thing? In China, in the numerology and the feng shui, 4 is like this death number. It's also the word death or something, or dead in Chinese. And so 4 is like an unlucky number.
You were talking. Okay, so you were referring to the language. Okay. I have no knowledge.
And the customs. So a lot of hotels, in Western countries, they won't have the 13th floor.
Yeah, the 13th.
Right? That's the unlucky number, 13. But in Asia, 4 is the unlucky number. And so they won by 44.4%.
Wow. Oh my God, really?
Yeah, that kind of qualifies as wacky news, actually.
Yeah.
All right, the Pope started a Facebook page, the first time, I guess, ever. You know who the Pope is?
It's Christian.
Yeah, the head of the Catholic Church.
Oh, yeah.
Of the world, and
I know.
they're in Rome, and then Las Vegas shooting.
Yeah.
Got to mention the Las Vegas shooting. It happened. Over 50 people dead, over 500. Was it really a lone shooter or not? Well, things are unveiling every day.
But
So
he prepared a lot of guns.
Yeah, there were a lot of guns in that hotel room. So, all right, we're going to leave it there for our coffee break, and then come back and have some more entertaining news. All right, so that's it for the headlines, and stay tuned, and we'll be right back after the coffee break. Welcome back to Deconstructed. I'm the Maven here with Chameleon.
Hey!
Yay!
Yeah, back.
We're back. So what did you think of the coffee break? Because we have to tell people that, our show today, as well as our coffee break, is brought to you by Instant Tea, Cafe and Restaurant.
Yeah.
And this is your first time here. I come here all the time. If you want to spot me, this is the place to do it. I'm here a few days every week.
The tea,
What do you think?
It's, oh my God, it's awesome. It's awesome. The tea, the green tea is good. I love green tea over coffee because each on its own. So yeah, it's really good.
And how's the atmosphere?
Oh, I love the tree.
Yeah, there's a lot of trees and plants.
Yeah, I love the tree so much.
There's an outside patio area as well.
Yeah.
That has like a water pond with the
really?
koi fish.
I haven't visited yet.
Yeah.
But it is good. It's really, really good.
Yeah. So that's awesome, and the food is amazing. And a lot of times your coffee shops they just have like coffee and pastries, but they also have a full menu here.
Yeah.
And So I actually myself get their chicken sandwich a lot. It comes with fries. Very awesome. It's like under $4 for the chicken sandwich with fries.
Yeah.
And then and you can have that on baguette or toast. And then I get like their breakfast as well. It's like $5.50 or something. And you get your eggs and your bacon and your sausage and bread and everything, and a discount on coffee if you get the coffee at the same time. So so Instant Tea Cafe and Restaurant. We're on France Street between Wat Phnom and Spien Toi Chang Va, or the Japanese Bridge, which is now the Chinese Bridge because the Japanese Bridge is officially closed for construction.
It's Street 47.
Street 47, okay, which is also known as France Street. So it's real close to the French Embassy.
Yeah.
But not on Monivong. That's Monivong Boulevard. That embassy is actually on.
Don't get confused like me.
Yeah.
I was
But
trying to find a place.
It's close to the bridge. What? Now,
it's
trying to
easy.
find it for the first time, what would you tell people they need? What helps them? Like, do you know the name of the pagoda across the street?
No. The thing is, if you know the French embassy, it's really good. Like it's really easy because you just have to reach the place.
Yeah.
And then there is a sign saying Street 47. Just turn
Right there.
right there.
Okay, so you can
Really?
find it, and they're on Facebook.
Yeah.
So go like their page. There's a map and everything, but you have to put. Oh, and T is you can see up there, instant. The letter T, cafe and restaurant. That's their Facebook page. So search for that, and you'll find it. All right. So local news.
Yeah.
The biggest thing of the week. The beloved architect Van Malivon, is that how you say it when you say it in Khmer?
Yeah.
Van Malivon had passed away. He was in his 90s. The architecture that he really began was called the New Khmer architecture. So if you actually look, if you study architecture, that is the name of the style. Yeah. And do you know some of the buildings that are still around that he did?
The Independence Monument.
He did do the Independence Monument. I
Yeah.
forgot about that one. Yeah.
I think also the Olympic Stadium.
Olympic Stadium.
I forgot the name of it. It's over. I forgot the name of it.
The Chaktamo Theater.
Yeah.
Did he do, yeah.
And the other one.
And the old Basak Theater that burned down.
Yeah, that one too.
Yeah. And a lot of homes that are known as villas. The particular style also has. Oh, what about the universities, like the Royal University? Like because there's different parts. I mean, you've got the Royal University, and then you've got different, of fine arts and of business and of technology and all those, huh? And so some of those buildings are designed by him. Yeah. Okay. So Van Malivon, rest in peace. Yeah. Two more local stories. Bante Minche. They've issued a warning. The government has issued a warning because in that area there's some flooding going on, and they found a crocodile swimming around in the flooded area. Now they're not sure if it's one of the endangered species of the Siam crocodile, but they're checking that out. But whether it's the endangered one or not, people need to watch out for their own safety.
Yeah.
However, I think what's important about finding out if it is a Siam crocodile, then if you're just scared of it or you just want to get it, you want to kill it to poach it. If it's the Siam crocodile, you really do, you got to just let it go away. Don't kill those because they're just
let the
endangered.
crocodile go away.
Let it go away.
Don't touch them.
But be careful.
Yeah.
And then other big news for Cambodia: Small Planet is the name of an airlines. I don't even know this airlines, but I'm gonna go online and find out about them. They're based in Lithuania. And they've been granted an air operator's license, so they are going to actually not just fly in and out of Cambodia, they're going to make their hub in Cambodia. So airlines always have a hub where they fly to the region, and this was going to be their hub for Southeast Asia. So that is like huge, but there's no date on when it's going to get started. Yeah. And it's probably going to hub in Siem Reap rather than Phnom Penh, but that's not for sure either. And the reason why we got it? Because they were actually thinking of Thailand. Everybody thinks of Thailand first.
Yeah.
Well, Thailand denied them the operating license, and also Thailand has had with the FAA and the international organizations, they've gotten some points knocked down on their rating for their airports as not being as safe as they could be, right? As safety issues, right? And so they instead, they're moving, they're changing their hub.
We are the second option.
We're the second option, but now that it's here, we're going to be like the first big hub of an airline in Cambodia. That's like awesome. Okay, so we're going to do Deconstructed, and then I think we're going to be out of time for today. But maybe we could do another show with like This Week in History and celebrity birthdays or something. Maybe we could do that together instead of just this one. But this one, because the name of the show is Deconstructed, because we want to take apart a story for you, a news story, and break up the pieces and like look at it a little more thoroughly to help you understand how to do that for yourself with a news story. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to look at Catalonia. And so have you ever heard of Catalonia?
No.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Barcelona?
Yeah, I heard it from a song.
From a song?
Ed Sheeran.
She knows all
That
the
is
music.
that is a good song. That is a really, really
You know, I never knew about Ibiza until that Ibiza song.
Ibiza?
Yeah. I took a pill in
Oh,
Ibiza.
yeah.
That one, yeah. I mean, I'd never
Took a pill.
I'd never heard of Maven. Okay, and so Barcelona, a lot of you guys are football fans, okay? I go football because Americans, the football, and then like soccer and everything, but the world calls it, actually, usually the world spells it F-U-T-B-O-L, football.
F-U-T-B-O-L?
Yeah, at least they used to. You know, now I think they do spell it the American way. So anyway, football, Barcelona,
Soccer.
but people love Barcelona as a team, right? Barcelona is in Catalonia. Catalonia is a region in Spain. Okay. And this region has 7.5 million people, and it's 1/5 of Spain's economy. So it's a big deal to Spain.
Yeah.
Right? Now, for years and years and decades, and maybe hundreds of years, ever since Catalonia has been part of Spain, whenever that happened, then they've wanted to have independence.
Yeah.
Okay? And be their own country. But the EU, the European Union, recognizes Spain as a whole.
As a whole, yeah.
And there's no guarantee that the EU would recognize Catalonia as a country and as an EU member. But Spain doesn't want to let them go. Of course, 1/5 of their economy.
Yeah.
Businesses, but the people, you know, they have their own language. But they don't speak actual Spain Spanish. They have their own language that's similar, but it's different. It's unique.
Yeah.
And they also have their own cultural traditions.
Government?
They have, not quite like, say, Hong Kong would be an autonomous region of China. Maybe it's similar to that kind of concept. So because they do have their own parliament to rule the area, but they're under Spain control for sure, right? So the parliament they did this referendum, which we mentioned earlier, and so that the people voted on whether or not they wanted independence or not. Now the parliament had announced this referendum back in September. And we mentioned that, like, this could be big, because October 1st is the day of the vote, or was the day of the vote. Well, Spain immediately started saying, don't you dare even have this referendum. So when October 1st came and people came out to try and vote, there was this huge crackdown, and over 900 people, like, were in between, okay? So over 900 people injured. I didn't hear any deaths, and this was all from the police and their force. And this is why the king apologized for the crackdown itself. But so anyway, the referendum happened. There were protests a couple of days after. The final vote was 90% in favor of independence, and the voter turnout was 43% of the population, or at least like the registered voters. And now the police chief and 2 separatist leaders have been arrested and charged with sedition. So the Spanish authorities of Spain have arrested the police chief for, I guess, not enforcing the way they wanted him to, and 2 separatist leaders that were wanting independence. So like the opposition, in a sense, they've arrested them and charged them with sedition. Sedition is very similar to treason. Okay, I think especially in Cambodia we know treason. So it's very similar to that because they want independence from Spain. All right, opponents have been they're playing. Okay, today, Saturday and Sunday, they are the opponents of independence. The people who want to stay a part of Spain are having their own demonstrations and rallies. So we'll have to see what happens with this.
Yeah.
But so that's our Deconstructed for this week, where you see a headline, you don't really know what it's about, but this could really destabilize the European Union if the independence happens. And it can. There's a lot of other regions that want independence from their countries. Scotland wants independence from the UK. You know, this could be opening a Pandora's box, or also the expression opening a can of worms. So this is why it's something to watch what happens there.
Yeah.
And so be sure you deconstruct your stories. Okay, we're going to end with a quote for the day. And this one is, one day you will wake up and there won't be any more time to do the things you've always wanted. Do it now. And that's by Paul Coelho.
That is good. Just do it.
Just do it. That's Nike.
Yes, that Nike. But it's kind of similar.
Because the thought is there.
So you
All
won't
right.
be regret.
Don't have regrets. That's right. And when they say older people, when they look back on their life, they don't regret the things that they did. Because we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
And their deepest regrets are not about the things they did wrong, but they're about the things they didn't do.
Yeah.
So do it now. All right. And that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. Deconstructed. See you next week.